Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for May 4th, Thursday, May 4th. If you're watching in real time, but it can be for whenever you stumble upon it. May the 4th be with you. Last year, you guys have to check out the May the 4th reading I did last year. It was quite elaborate, and I will put it in the, I got a few things I need to put in the community page. But I will repost it in the community page for you guys to see. All right, so I like to use different tarot decks every day, but every once in a while I throw in an oracle deck. And I think this is a good day for throwing in. It's not even quite an oracle deck. It's just basically an affirmation card deck. And there's 4 different suits per se. And so I might just shuffle one particular suit, but let me just show it to you real quick. I do have a flip through review of it, and you can see it in the little eye information. So here's what it looks like in the back. Oh, that's the book. Okay, the book, okay. And then you have activity, guidance, inspiration, and affirmation. Let's just pull one card from each pile. How about that? Okay, I'm just going to, maybe I'll shuffle a little bit like this. Okay, I'm just going to take this one. Oh, Yoda. I love Yoda. The greatest teacher failure is. Look back at time you have failed something. Ask yourself what you can do differently next time. You can always learn from defeat. It's a great way of approaching the negative, is using it as a learning tool and not something that you just get all down and depressed about. I mean, you can if you need to. If there's a necessity for grieving or something, then that's allowed. But then you get to the point where you need to figure out what the lesson is behind this. All right, let's see. What is your guidance? Some situations in life may seem impossible, but you can't give up just because the odds are against you. Learn to identify what you can and cannot control. It's like the Serenity Prayer again. And then accept what you can do from there. It's also, I like to use this phrase a lot. Let go of outcomes, and sometimes you just have to let go of outcomes and accept the present here and now. Just accept it. Sometimes you do need to fight it. Fight the good fight. Sometimes you have to decide what do you need to do in this situation. Sometimes you got to let go. Okay, let's see what your activity is. Ooh, there he is. So make something new, build an invention, or create a piece of art out of things found in your home. It doesn't matter if it works or looks good. The act of creation often teaches us valuable lessons. I'm going to zoom in so you can get a closer look. We'll just breathe in the messages and see what else Spirit has to say about it. I definitely think these two are related. And then I'm hearing, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. My mom was so good at saying that. She was definitely the faith influence in my life. I'm all about faith, trust, and pixie dust, and I could not be that if it wasn't for my mother, because my dad was quite pessimistic. So he felt that being that way was realism. That's what it takes to be realistic, is to have negative attitude and be pessimistic about things. It was safer somehow. But I feel like disappointment comes whether you're optimistic or pessimistic about something. The disappointment will still be there. Does it hurt more? I don't think so. If you're optimistic, I don't think the disappointment actually hurts any more than it would if you're pessimistic. So pessimism is not even any kind of real barrier, right? It's not any kind of real protection around you. That's just a false notion. And believing in things like the Murphy's Law, which my dad believed in too, if anything can go wrong, it will, or something like that. That's another way of attracting something that you don't need to attract. Why focus on the worst possible case scenario when you can focus on exactly what you do want? What do you want? So in this situation, I feel like there's somebody out here that may have had a little snafu. It could be something minor to something big, but it could be just like trying something and it didn't work and you tried it again. Even if it seemed like you couldn't get past the problem, the issue, you tried again and it worked, something minor that you did, some small adjustment made it work somehow. And that's I think that's the key to a lot of things that we deal with on a daily basis, especially during Mercury retrograde, is not to get stuck in this energy too long. Certainly we're going to have disappointments and things aren't going to go our way, but if you dwell in that energy, it can suck you down and it'll be like a negative ripple effect where everything compounds and it's worse and worse. The day gets worse and worse and worse. So the best thing to do is take that early part of the day energy if something didn't go exactly right and wait a little bit, because even within the same day, energies get better. I've had that happen where the morning the energy was kind of off and the timing was kind of not going right and things are just not gelling, and then I gave it a couple of hours and everything started going smoothly. And I promise you I don't know. I promise you that it's astrology has a lot to do with it. And the thing that I don't know is if you believe in astrology or not. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. But I feel like if you're here, you generally believe in outside energies, outside influences. But remember, it's not about just like kicking back and saying, okay, the universe has this and there's nothing that I can do about it. You're co-creating with the universe. So you do have to put some action into it, especially if you're somebody who doesn't normally put action into something. That might be the reason why a certain challenge happens for you, because Spirit wants to help you move into a more active role, a more I was going to say aggressive, but that might not necessarily be the word, but an action-oriented approach instead of kick back and just say, woe is me, the universe hates me, nothing I could do about it. Because to me, that's the lazy way, and that's where people, when they fall into that kind of energy, that's when they make everything else is to blame. They have excuses. It's not their fault. Everything else is against them. They have lots of grievances, but they're not doing anything about what their issue is. So I feel like, I've always been a little bit annoyed by that kind of mindset with people. My dad had that too. Like, it was always something outside of him that was at fault for what was happening in his life. I was like, well, maybe if you took down the poster that says negative, 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 then you would attract something good in your life. But I didn't know enough back then to know to tell him that. But I'm just saying, it's like, are you being your own worst enemy? Are you saying all these negative things but expecting something good to happen to you? Come on. Does that make any sense? Not really. So here's about, this could be just something like a fixing a bicycle or something small, a computer, a little mundane object or whatever, some like little small thing, and then you're like, oh, it just needed this little piece or whatever. But it could also be more philosophical about changing your outlook and the way you deal with problems and things like that, and just making some small adjustments and realizing making those adjustments can actually lead to a better outcome. All right, so I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust. May the 4th be with you.